we've been through so much as this band and finally found out who we are, and I feel like we're in a good spot. Like we've made it to this Cabin by the Sea. Good spot. Yeah.
This album was more of like we got a really dope team. We got Mario, we went to El Paso, we came home and got some of his players to put down some really cool parts, some marimbas and some lap steel and just like some really weird instruments that we wouldn't think of. Mario had his players come and do some cool stuff on that. We pretty much wrote and produced with Louis a lot of the songs also. He's been writing with us since like day one. He's literally been writing with it. That was the first studio we went to after the Dirty Demo to start writing music. So he's kind of just a big, he's kind of like the silent member in this band. So he really bumped these songs up and got them amazingly banging. And we went back after El Paso and tightened them up and added some parts. And then on a couple songs, we just kind of got to the roof of these songs and they were still feeling a little just unfinished. So we got Stan Frazier and Steve Fox from the last album just to come in as a cleanup crew. Like they didn't come in and start from scratch and produce these songs. Like they came in, took what we had, and they just did what we needed them to do as producers, like those guys are, and just cleaned everything up on these songs that they worked on and cleaned it up and tightened it up and came up with ideas that we weren't really thinking of. And in the midst of that, we came up with another song called Your Love, and we got Ky-Mani Marley on it because there's a line in it, your love gets me so high, like when we're listening to Bob Marley. And so we were like, well, that's really funny, and that paints a picture like who doesn't listen to like Marley with their chick and on the weekends and on a Sunday afternoon. We hit up Ky-Mani to see if he would do it, and he dropped some vocals on it, and the song is insane. It's like one of my favorite songs.
He sounds real good on it.
Mm-hmm. So the concept of the album and the album name is, there's any port in the storm, so you gotta, get out of the storm. So we're pulling in somewhere, and the next one will be like the Cabin by the Sea. You got out of the storm, you find this Cabin by the Sea, and that's the title track.
So yeah, we have these friends, Todd and Corey. They own a venue up in San Luis Obispo. They own this yurt up in the mountains up in there, and it's just the coolest hippie spot ever. And they let us go there, do the video shoot and do our photo shoot for this album. And it's just cool. It's almost like if there was a Cabin by the Sea, this would be it. It's pretty close to the beach, up in these hills, nothing around but this hippie yurt and like a little housing area down this hill, and it's just in the middle of nowhere in the nature, and it's beautiful. It's an awesome spot.
It's just an album that you can put on, and it's going to take you somewhere. It's going to put you in a certain mind state, and it's going to take you somewhere else.
And it's just a spot that we just feel like we can be there, all our friends, all our fans, and somewhere we can all go and be and just relax and hang out. And it kind of made sense too from our last album, Any Port in the Storm. Almost like we found our port, and that was this Cabin by the Sea. Like we're here, and we made it. So it kind of just made sense. Yeah, our first performance, I remember it. It was in Huntington Beach at this little hole-in-the-wall bar, and we played acoustically, me and Jared and John, and we sat on stools, and we just played shitty songs and rapped, and we just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And it was, like, all of our friends were there, and our parents and everyone, and it was good. But from that show to now, it's just unbelievable, like to go from sitting on stools in a little shitty dive bar, playing to your friends, to now, to going like out of state, not even somewhere near your house, and it's a packed house, thousands of kids singing every word. It's a pretty crazy feeling, It's a big change, and it's exciting for sure. We didn't have a bus when we first started touring. It was a 15-passenger van, and we actually still have it. It's right out front. And we had a couple times where we had about 10 people in there, so you're sitting, 3 to a bench, 2 people up front, and we would just take turns driving. And as crappy as some of the times were when you were in there, like hadn't slept in a week, no one has showered because you're not getting hotel rooms because you're making $50 a show, just enough to get gas, and you got 10 stinky, tired dudes in there driving through the mountains in a blizzard at 3 in the morning to make your show the next day, where there's like 3 people at it, not even caring about how you're playing. But you look back at those times now, and it's just like, wow, we had fun. It was a good times.
You know, we have done a lot of shows with Modest in the past. Actually, our first tour we ever did was with 311 and Modest, which was, 5-6 years ago. So, throughout the years, we've grown somewhat of a relationship with him. So, we were thinking about who we can get on this album, and he came to mind, and we hit him up, and he rode down by himself on his motorcycle to our studio and just crushed his verse. It was awesome.
He was a pro. His vocals are crazy.
Yeah. He's an awesome dude. It was awesome to work with him, and we're going to be going on tour with him this summer too.
Yeah, tour came out of that.
So we'll be able to play the song live and have him out there, which is awesome.
At my buddy's house, my friend Danny's house, and he's friends with Del. And we were looking for a rapper, and we couldn't really decide on who we wanted or who would fit this really kind of weird, like grimy track that we have called Smoke Rings. And he's like, yo, I'm homies with Del. And I was like, oh my God. Del's been one of my favorite rappers since 14 years old. I used to skate. When I skateboarded, I would listen to Del religiously. And then Gorillaz came out and crushed it on that. So as soon as he said Del, that was it. So we called him, we emailed him, and within 2 days, he loved, he hit up the track. We had mutual friends through other people, and then he sent us the track. We didn't get to do it with him in the studio, but it doesn't matter. He still crushed it. Rather than just like, let's write a bunch of rad songs or let's try and make a bunch of hit songs, we tried to write an album. We on our last album, I don't think we did that. I think we just tried to write a bunch of songs that were good songs. On this one, we were working on it more as a whole piece of artwork or a whole concept, and that was the whole Cap by the Sea concept. And I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
Feels so good that I feel like I can sit back in a rocking chair.
I don't have a rocking chair, and it kind of pisses me off.
I mean, we can switch because it's good.
Go kick rocks with some moccasins. Couldn't find the hipster, the fixtures on my rockin' man. Everywhere I go, I got the whole room talking, man. I know